Who wants another LEGO City update? I do. And in today's LEGO City update, we're going to be finishing off this hidden side shrimp shack conversion. Looks great from this side, but if we turn it around, oh, it's all open back. Oh no. Well, I have the parts to finish that off and then close that in, and a few more things for the beach, including the extra water tiles and a little railing to go along here. Oops, I just knocked that bit off. Yeah, the railing will look like that, so just going to continue on, and maybe we'll get up to some other things as well. But you're coming with me. So I have already began to change the shrimp shack. As you can see, it doesn't look quite like how it did in the official set. And I think I showed that off in a previous little city update video from probably a little while ago now. But, you know, so many projects can only focus on so many things at once. So what I'm doing is essentially mirroring the build. So it's going to look like this on both sides. And I have done a digital mock-up of what that's going to look like. So let's take a look. So this is what we have for the digital design. And yeah, it's basically mirrored on both sides, and I do have a second sticker sheet, so it will still have the decorations on there. I just thought this would make sense in my LEGO City, where it's just an all-round, you know, thing, a nice little kiosk where you can buy the food from both sides. And of course the interior space is a lot narrower now, but I should be able to squeeze at least one minifigure in there. That'll be fine. And since this is my own custom creation, I don't have any instructions for it yet, but just by looking at the pictures here, you might be able to see how it's done. It's a pretty straightforward one. Like I said, it is just mirroring the build and making a few changes here and there. And I'll just use this to put everything how it should be. And hopefully all the extra parts I need are in here. Some of them from my own parts collection, some of them from a Bricklink haul, which you may have seen recently. So I think we're good to go. I've taken off the roof so it's easier to get into the build. And some things will be changing. For example, this post here won't be there because it won't fit. So it does mean we do lose these frying pans hanging up, but I can just stick them back there in the kitchen or something. So this is how far I've got so far. The wall has been mirrored. I've used my second sticker sheet to use some stickers, and that leaves me with a few others to use for something else. I haven't put them on in the same positions as the ones on this side. I thought just to shake it up a little bit, make it seem a bit more random. And there is still just enough space to put a minifigure in there, so that's good. So we can have our chef in there. He can't move too much, but, you know, it's fine. He's in the window hatch, it's all good. And now I've finished doing the roof. It was 8 studs before, now it's 10 studs wide, but it is still basically the same thing, just mirrored, and because of that, that's why I had to make it the extra little bit wider. But yeah, you know, if you want to do it for yourself, then just, I don't know, pause the video here, take a screenshot. This is how I've done it. And these are some of the parts that I didn't end up needing, so I took those off and replaced them with new parts. Now I can attach the roof to the build and pop it back in place. And just like that, it is now complete. I also popped on a door. It's in light grey. I would have preferred if it was in dark grey, but the door piece doesn't come in dark grey. So if it does in the future, I might swap it out, but otherwise it's not that noticeable. Yeah, it's a nice solid unit. I didn't make it so that the roof is easily removable, so you do have to like peel it off, but I mean it does still come apart in mostly one piece. So if I want to pop a minifig in there, I can try and squeeze him through the door and through the hatch, or I'll just squeeze off the roof and that'll all be good. But yeah, I'm happy with that. It looks quite good actually. The shrimp shack is back in business. And now it's back in its final resting place. But don't worry, the shrimp shack will reopen soon. Once everything's finished, I'll open up the shutters, place the minifigures, and we're good to go. I also thought it'd be a nice touch to add the spare frying pan as the new door handle. I thought that could be pretty funny, and it's quite interesting, so that works nicely. Yeah, happy with everything now. On to the next task. And another thing I'm going to quickly change is the roof of this ice cream shop here, because this gap, and it's always bugged me, so I'm going to change that out, and ta-da, I've got a replacement here. I think the reason why LEGO did it this way, because they used one piece. For example, if I just take it off, as you can see, it's this big, well, plate that starts off rectangular and goes curved, and that works great for one side but not the other, and that's why they put this 2x4 tile on here, which also looks a bit out of place just to cover up the extra curve. So I'm going to swap that out for what I made here, which does use more parts and probably wouldn't be as, well, this wouldn't pass the official LEGO standards for just how it is, but it's going to look nicer. There we go. It's a small subtle change, but it just works so much nicer to me. I knew it was there and now I'm happy with it. The next little thing I'm going to tackle is my bike lanes. Now, I did these a long time ago now, and I was kind of happy with it, but then also kind of not, because I've got, obviously, a bit of sidewalk here, and that will continue over there, and then these barriers to stop cars hitting the bikes and things, and the bike lane is the same level as the actual road, but because this bit of sidewalk is the same level as the other sidewalk, that this is inset quite deep, and it almost looks like a river of sorts, and it just seems a bit narrow. And I'm not going to make it any wider, but what I'm going to do is just change up how this bit is, because yeah, I'm not too happy with it, so I think I'm going to come up with something different. Okay, so here's one that I'm working on right now, and I've changed it slightly, kind of ripped out the whole thing, how everything's going to go. And for the bit of paved area that holds the bollards along here, instead of having it the same height as the rest of the pavement, it's going to be the same height as the road, so it's slightly lower, and things should look a bit more even going across. So I just needed to rework kind of all the plate work underneath here. But the only problem that I've encountered so far is how I connected my road extenders. Before, I used Technic bricks and plates to clip them into place, but I can't do that with this current method. So I'm thinking I can just literally place them in there and they'll just sit loosely, but at least they'll fit. And, you know, they're not really going to fall out anywhere, so I might just leave it as that. And this is what I've come up with. As you can see, it's only slightly different, but I also added on these little ramps, so the cyclists actually have a way to get down to this slightly lower part. And yeah, it doesn't continue. The cycle lane ends here. Cyclists have to dismount, that sort of thing. Yeah, I'm happier with the barriers being the same level as the road now. It just looks a bit cleaner, I think. It's a subtle change, but it's one that I know is there. So now I'm just going to do that for my other two bike lanes. All three of the bike lane Mills plates have been fixed up and back in place. Yeah, much happier with it now. I've had a small bag of parts arrive from Bricklink, so I can finish off the little fence detail around the beach area, and a couple of masonry bricks which I needed to go along here to finish off that wall. And of course, even more trans light blue tiles to finish off the water on my beach. There we go, this area is now completely finished off, and that brick wall there just continues to look from the train platform area. It's more consistent, it makes sense, and it looks good. But yeah, just remember, this is only half of it. Once we get to expanding the city, the other half will be there, and it won't look like it's been cut off, but that's kind of what it has been. Now let's fill in this area with these new trans light blue tiles. There we go, that's all finished off now. I'm glad I counted it correctly because I had none to spare, so that's all good. Yeah, quite happy with how this has turned out. Now I'm just going to continue this little fence going along. I've got 15 of these little chain fences made up now, so that's plenty enough to go around the little area I need to do. But before I put them in place, I need to modify the sidewalk, the pavement slightly, because it's mostly tiled off, so I need to add some connection points. But to make sure it still has a clean, consistent look, I'm going to use these L-shaped corner tiles in with some 1x1 studs, so everything looks like still clean and finished off. So it'll be similar to what I've done here. As you can see, there's the corner tile and the 1x1 plate, and then there as well, so it's six studs in total length. I just need to modify that all the way along. Got my 1x1s, and I've got plenty of those L-shaped tiles. The new fence along the beach and waterfront is complete, and I did continue it round onto this little bit of, well, it's not, well, is it a pier? Is it part of the boardwalk? It's just kind of another extension. It's just a thing. I don't really know what the proper term would be, because the water does kind of go underneath it technically, so it could be a pier. But I did put the fence on there as well. Slightly different spacing because they're just how the dimensions worked out. So it probably isn't the safest fence, considering how far the chain droops down in the middle there. You could just like hop right over that, so I might change that out. Plus it's technically a stud lower than the one on kind of this area here, so I might change that out because I'm not going to use that design for this part of the boardwalk. I think I'm going to go for something a bit different, so I might, you know, change it out later. But for now, I added it in, and it's, you know, it looks good. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Some more good progress has been made today for the LEGO City, and I'm very happy with how everything is coming along. Like I said, this whole front section is basically done, apart from the harbour, of course, which will be its own probably mega project at some point. And then the boardwalk is looking a little bit empty, but really all it needs is just a few extra mini builds, and once some minifigures are on there, it'll look more alive. I don't want to clutter it too much because there isn't that much space there anyway. I'm going to consider that done, but yeah, otherwise we can start looking back. I mean, this area here has got nothing. I recently placed this petrol station here because I'm potentially going to be doing something with that soon, but I know what's going in here. I've got a plan. I've got most of the buildings. I just haven't placed them yet, so there might be something we do pretty soon. But thanks again for watching. Your support is greatly appreciated. And if you have any feedback or suggestions, tell me in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends. I'll see you next time for another LEGO City update. Coming real soon. Bye for now. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to check out the other videos on this channel or on one of my other channels as well. And of course, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends.